Sushma Swaraj there warning Pakistan of consequences to bilateral ties. Ashutosh, can you just tell us a little bit more on the people who are protesting against the sentencing? Ashutosh, if you can hear me, you were mentioning that there were several protests being witnessed outside the Pakistan High Commission. Who are these people who are out there who are speaking in support of the Indian national who has been given death sentence?
Avantika, it was a Congress supporter, Shahzad Poonawala, along with his supporter who came out here outside Pakistan High Commission. And though protest is over, all the protesters have been taken away by the Delhi police. Despite there is a strong presence of the Delhi police and the paramilitary outside here at Pakistan High Commission. This is the main gate. However, the protest took at the rear side of this Pakistan High Commission when those protesters came out having this picture as a poster demanding release of Kulbhushan Jadhav. And the protesters were very clear, they're saying that Pakistan did not provide legal access, consular access, and though he is innocent, having Indian national with a legal passport, how could he be arrested? Now this posters was there in the hand of those protesters that Kulbhushan Jadhav must be released, condemning the Pakistan's act against the envoy. How the protesters wanted to meet Abdul Basi, the Pakistan envoy, but the Delhi police taken away all those protesters here. But the serious question against Ray, that why such action against the Indian nationals? Though we know after this action there will be a serious repercussion, as Brijesh Pandey mentioned, that government will leave no stone unturned for the release of Kulbhushan Jadhav. Avantika?
Absolutely, and that assurance, Brijesh, we just heard from the foreign minister, who even warned Pakistan of serious consequences to bilateral ties between both the nations, which are already at an all-time low. I mean, the sentencing to the Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav has already severed ties between both the nations. It has already aggravated tensions between the two nations.
Well, absolutely, and I think the biggest challenge for the government is to to exercise pressure on Pakistan through whatever is left of the relationship between the two nations, because as you're just saying that there is not much left of a relationship between the two countries, and if the government takes a unilateral economic sanction route, then the government must also be ready to face a similar backlash as far as Pakistan is concerned. Now the point is that as far as domestic politics is concerned, the government would be under a lot of pressure, as you just heard Mallikarjun Kharge saying that the Prime Minister stops over at Lahore, makes an unscheduled stopover at Lahore to attend Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's daughter's wedding. Now what stops him from picking the phone and making a call to his good friend Nawaz Sharif? So the domestic politics implications is also lost on the government, and this is the reason why we heard first the Home Minister and then External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj coming out very strongly in support of Kulbhushan Jadhav, and also virtually threatening Pakistan with dire consequences if they go ahead with this sentencing. But Avantika, there are several legal options still left before Kulbhushan Jadhav, and I think if the government continues steps up with the pressure, there must be some solution which could easily be found.
Absolutely. Brijesh, just stay on with me. We have a couple of reactions coming in right now, one of Shashi Tharoor, and we also have a reaction coming in from BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy. Let's just listen into a few reactions, that of Mr. Owaisi as well.
What next? Because some of the opposition leaders are saying that the Pakistani prisoners who are languishing here, their trial should be speeded up, and at the same time they should be handed the same punishment. On the other hand, there are other people who are saying that Pak High Commission should be closed. What's your personal take on it? Because time and again Pak has been backstabbing us.
I think it's cowardly to suggest tit for tat. Okay? They do like this, so we do their prisoners. What nonsense! When the Prime Minister says, I don't know what is going on, that means the existence of a civilized state is ended. So therefore now we must now break it into pieces. That is the only solution.
What is the way out, sir?
What I told you, declare Balochistan as an independent country. All the time you go on being at their mercy. They arrest somebody and then we go on petitioning them. What kind of thing is the way to deal with it? There's only one way. There should be a massive retaliation, and that massive retaliation should begin with immediate declaring Balochistan as an independent country.
Right.
Brijesh, but coming to you, I was reading that the Pakistan military court enjoy much power, in fact, unbridled power. In that scenario, what really are the options for Kulbhushan Jadhav? India has failed to acquire consular access to him despite repeated, summons to Pakistan asking them for the Indian government to get a chance to meet with Kulbhushan Jadhav. But he seems to be a lonely man there while India is still preparing its case.
Well, I think, given the kind of outrage which has emerged post his death sentence verdict, I think the government of India would definitely scale up the pressure on the Pakistani government, and they would say that, for this farce of a trial which has been conducted till now, a proper trial should be done, and, he should be provided proper legal consular access, and they should give the government of India a chance to beef up his legal brief. So one thing is for sure that, post his verdict, the kind of pressure which has been mounted on Pakistan by the Indian government, there will have to be some sort of a solution which has to be worked out between the two countries, and also the fact that Kuldeep Jadhav still has a couple of more shots at appealing to the Pakistan Supreme Court against the verdict which has been handed out. So it does give him some time before the verdict which has been given by Pakistani military court to be carried out. It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow, and gives Indian government ample time to to step in, muscle in its way in, and to see that that proper justice is served as far as Kuldeep Jadhav is concerned.
Ashutosh, India has made it very clear that they will regard his execution as murder in the first degree. I mean, that came about very clearly from the Foreign Secretary. Are you hearing of any back-channel talks that are taking place between the Pakistan High Commissioner, who's already been summoned by the Indian government, and also through the strongly worded démarche that has been issued to them?
Well, Avantika, the message from the Indian government was loud and clear that was conveyed to the Pakistan against this hanging of Kulbhushan Jadhav.
Right.
Now, also Pakistan need to understand the repercussion, the Indo-Pak bilateral ties, that is certainly going to be affected. But in the meanwhile, the government has conveyed this very strong message to Pakistan that you should have been provided all the legal access. As Brijesh rightly mentioned out, that Kulbhushan Jadhav still has a lot of options, and we have to see that how government going to step in. But as far as the Pakistan High Commissioner is concerned, he's there inside. The Pakistan High Commission is not ready to speak a single word on this. However, Pakistan claimed that it has conveyed the message of hanging the death sentence of Kulbhushan Jadhav to the government, and government has reciprocated and reacted over it and conveyed a strong message to the Pakistan. And Pakistan also, Pakistan must be understanding that the repercussion of this Indo-Pakistan bilateral tie, there is always a lot of bitterness in the relationship, and this step, this verdict against Kulbhushan Jadhav certainly going to bitter the relationship further.
Absolutely. And Brijesh, that bitterness has continued for a very long time. I mean, post what happened to Sarabjit Singh, we in fact spoke to his sister earlier in the morning, and she obviously, for her, it was deja vu all over again, and demanding justice not only for her brother, but also for all those languishing in Pakistan jails.
Well, I mean, when you have got various authorities who are working at cross purpose in a nation state, this kind of thing definitely almost always happens. And,
yes.
Given the fact that they are not as a robust democracy as India is, with proper checks and balances as far as court and other organs and institutions of governance is concerned. And that this is one issue which India has faced for a long time, where, all these people who have been arrested and sent to jail, they are sent behind bars without proper trials and handed out death sentences. I mean, the government of India will definitely have to come up with a robust mechanism through which it can ensure, it can arm twist the government into making it see reason, making it see to it that that the legalities are not bypassed, and all these legal things are not decided in extremely arbitrary fashion as it has been done in the case of Jadhav. So the government of India is working overtime ever since this death verdict has come up, and it'll be a while before we get to know what all the government has done and whether they're expecting a quick release of Kulbhushan Jadhav or not. Avantika?
Absolutely, Brijesh. We saw this matter being raised in Parliament, but protests, as Ashutosh was mentioning, were also witnessed outside the Pakistan High Commission, and not just in the national capital, but even in other places as well. Protesters were seen coming out in protest against Pakistan's death sentence awarded to the Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav, as you can see on your screens right now. These protesters are demanding strict and swift action against the Pakistan authorities and are demanding that Jadhav be brought back home safely.
और फिर उसको वहां ले जाया गया।
That is the message of these protesters here outside Pakistan High Commission, that Kulbhushan Jadhav should be released as he was arrested from Iran and not Pakistan, as Pakistan claims after death sentence announced to Kulbhushan Jadhav. Shahzad Poonawalla along with his supporters protesting here, and now finally these protesters are being detained. All the protesters are being taken away from Pakistan High Commission to the local police station in Delhi outside Pakistan High Commission. This is Ashutosh for India Today.
Ashutosh, I was just seeing that report, and one thing that I wanted to ask you is, like, while the protesters have been taken away from the Pakistan High Commission, when you got a chance to speak to them, what exactly did they tell you? What exactly were they demanding?
Well, the demand was very clear, Vantika. They said that Kulbhushan Jadhav must be released. His arrest was wrong, the procedures were wrong. He was not given the access, consular access as per the international convention, international law. He was not given, he was not felicitated out legally as any foreign national those are arrested in any respective country. The access should be given, either it is consular access or the legal access. So there was a clear demand that Indian government should step in and opt out all the possible laws to explore out in the international court or in Pakistan to ensure a safe release of Kulbhushan Jadhav. Here at protest outside Pakistan Embassy, the protesters wanted to meet Abdul Basit, demanding, they had a very clear demand that Kulbhushan Jadhav must be safely released and brought back to India. Avantika.
All right, Ashutosh and Brijesh, thank you so much for getting us all the information and the reactions on what exactly is happening in Parliament and outside the Pakistan High Commission.